I'm joined today with Pastor Tim Knox. Pastor Tim is the Life.Church campus pastor at our Yukon location. Pastor Tim has been in that specific role at that location for almost a year.
Just about.
So he's going to tell us today what it's like to join an existing church as lead pastor, as campus pastor. Just kind of walk us through what that is like joining a team that's already in motion, already successful, already running. What is that like to step in and lead that church?
Great. So I came from an existing Life.Church campus, so I'm very aware of the Life.Church culture. So I came to Life.Church Yukon, and initially, as a new person, you see things and you maybe want to change things, you want to adjust things, and I got the great advice from my boss, my friend, Pastor Bill.
Love Chris.
Yes. He said, before you change a whole lot, why don't you just write down what you see and just write it all down and then revisit that a few months from now and have an understanding of why it is the way it is. Is it really important to change, or maybe God's doing something different? And so that's what I did. All these things that I felt like wanted to change, most of them were a reflection of my personality. And so I had to set my pride to the side and just be aware of what is God doing at Life.Church Yukon, where I can come in and just help it get to the next level, whatever that could look like.
So instead of speaking that or asking that question or forcing change, you just took that down and were a little bit more reflective on what those potential ideations were for change.
Absolutely. The first part of my time there, I just focused on relationships. Talking to people, asking questions, getting to know the team, just building a relationship, not changing anything at all. Just allowing God to use that as a time to build equity with them. And then as time went, if I needed to change something, I had the relational equity there to be able to do it. They knew that my intention, my motivation was in the right spot.
That's so great. So what did that look like for you in having those connection points with your team and with attenders? What did that intentionality look like? And just what types of questions did you ask to get to know your church?
Yeah, so with my team leaders, I meet with them every 2 weeks. We'll meet for a period of time. I like walking, and so we will walk around the building, and I'll just ask a lot of questions about them personally, wanting to know if they're at a healthy spot personally with their marriage, their kids, is their family doing okay? And then eventually we'll get into ministry. And if they lead another staff member, I'll ask how that's going, how the development's going with that staff member. I'll ask about wins and challenges that they may be experiencing in the ministry that they lead. And then we'll talk about the future. What are you hoping for the future, and what are you doing today to get there? And so ask a lot of questions and just listen is my approach.
So that's really great advice. So you were writing your list down, you were developing relationships. When the time came and you looked at that list and you thought, actually, I feel like this does need to change, how did you approach those conversations?
Well, each situation was a little bit different. The one that comes to my mind was some stewardship. We were doing something financially that I thought could have been done a little bit differently. And so we have the benefit of, I can do some research with other campuses and see how it's done in different places, and then I can bring that data to the table and say, hey, I know this is how we do it. Here's how it's done at other places. Let's talk about why it's different and which one is more effective, and let's do that. And so that opened up the conversation for, okay, so there's a different way of doing things. Let's try it.
That's great. So in your instance, if you don't have multiple locations, that's something that you could really rely on other people in your town in similar ministries, similar church size, connect with them and just have the ability to brainstorm new ways that you can be better stewards or welcome new families, whatever the challenge is that's presented itself to your church. Turn to other people in ministry and connect with them to figure out what a great approach would be. Pastor Tim, thank you for sharing those.
You're welcome.